Imagine a giant old castle with thick stone walls and heavy iron gates. Inside this castle, the air is always quiet and serious. The hallways are lined with paintings of kings and queens from long ago. In a large room with high ceilings, a man sits at a heavy wooden desk. This man is King Charles. He is holding a pen. The room is silent. The only sound you can hear is the scratching of the pen against a piece of paper. It seems like a small thing, just writing a name on a page. But in the world of the royal family, a signature can be louder than a cannon blast. It can shake the ground like an earthquake. For hundreds of years, the royal family has followed old traditions. They do things the same way over and over again. But on this day, King Charles is doing something different. He is not just signing a letter or a birthday card. He is signing a new rule. He looks down at the paper. He knows that once the ink dries, things will never be the same. He knows that this piece of paper will send a shockwave across the ocean to America. He knows it will hurt people he loves, but he signs it anyway. He puts the pen down. The deed is done. The future of the monarchy has changed in a single second, and far away, a storm is about to begin. King Charles has officially approved a brand new rule. This is not a small change. It is a huge change that will alter the future of the royal family forever. The rule is actually very simple to understand, but the result of the rule hits hard, like a sudden earthquake shaking the ground. The new rule says that any child who wants to be in line to become the king or queen one day must be raised in the United Kingdom. They have to live there full time. They must be watched and taught by the royals directly. This means there are no exceptions. There are no shortcuts for anyone. There is no special treatment for special people. The rule is strict and it is final. The very second this rule was shared with the world, everybody understood who was going to be hurt by it first. It was Archie and Lilibet. These are the two children of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Archie and Lilibet were born and are being raised thousands of miles away in California. They live across the giant Atlantic Ocean. Because they live so far away, they instantly fail the new requirement. They do not fit the rule. These children have never gone to the big royal events. They have never lived inside the palace walls or followed the palace schedule. They do not have any real connection to the daily life of the royal family. They are growing up as Americans, not as British royals. Inside the quiet circles of the palace, people started whispering. Sources say that this was not just a normal update to the rulebook. They believe it was a secret message. It was a message saying that the monarchy is moving forward without the people who left. It was a message that said the next group of royals would be picked very carefully. For Meghan Markle, this news hurt more than it hurt anyone else. For her, this was not just about fancy titles or crowns. It was about belonging. It was about being accepted. It was about making sure her children were respected. She wanted them to be part of the history books. She believed they deserved to be part of the royal story. But this new rule told her something she did not want to hear. It said very clearly, the monarchy decides who belongs in the family, not her. And this was only the start of the trouble. Before anyone could even calm down from the first shock, another surprise hit them. King Charles introduced a second rule. This one felt even sharper and more painful. The rule says that only the children of active working royals can stay in line for the throne. Let's explain what that means. An active working royal is someone who treats being a royal like a full-time job. They show up for duties. They serve the king. They go to events to represent the family. The rule says only the children of these hardworking royals can keep their place in line. Harry and Meghan stepped back from their royal jobs in the year 2020. They made a big choice. They chose freedom instead of royalty. They wanted to live their own lives. And now, a few years later, that choice has come back to haunt them. It has come full circle. Because they quit their jobs, their children do not fit into the new system. Behind the closed doors of the palace, the advisors explained it simply. They said it was just a structural update. They said it was a way to make the monarchy smaller, cleaner, and more organized. They said it was to protect the future of the king and queen. But far away in Montecito, California, sources say it felt very different. To Harry and Meghan, it didn't feel like organizing. It felt like a quiet punishment. It felt like the king was cutting the very last string that tied Meghan's family to the crown. It was a reminder that every decision you make has a consequence. It was a warning that the royal family was done bending the rules. They were not going to twist things anymore just to make Harry and Meghan feel included. The palace insisted that this wasn't personal. They said it was just business. But for Meghan, it was impossible to see it that way. In just a few days, 2 new rules were written, and both of those rules pointed a finger right at her children. The rules were written in permanent ink, and they could not be erased. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more tense, another move came from inside the palace. This move was quieter, colder, and much more scary. It is called a formal clarity review. Usually a review like this is just a simple checkup. It is usually just a small team of people checking papers or updating files in a back room. But this review was different from the very beginning. According to people on the inside, the team assigned to this job wasn't just regular office workers. The team included serious experts. There were constitutional experts who know all the laws of the country. There were legal advisors who are like super lawyers. There were historians who know everything about the past. There were palace officials who specialize in the laws of succession. This mix of serious people only comes together when there is a big problem. They only meet when something is being disputed or when a situation could hurt the crown in the long run. The review is focusing on everything connected to Harry, Meghan, and their children. They are looking at birth documents. They are checking medical confirmations. They are looking at paperwork that should have been filed automatically, but maybe wasn't. They are looking at the timelines of when Harry and Meghan left. They are checking rules about eligibility that have never been tested before. It wasn't an angry investigation like a police raid. Instead, it was thorough. It was detailed. It was methodical. It is the kind of review that slowly looks at every single detail. It removes anything that is unsure. It reveals anything that doesn't add up. It is like using a giant magnifying glass to find any tiny mistake. As the monarchy tightens its rules, another powerful person is rising up behind the scenes. That person is Prince William. For years, William stood quietly in the background. He learned from his grandmother, the late Queen. He watched his father, Charles, prepare to be king. He studied every problem the monarchy ever survived. But now, insiders say William has stepped into a much stronger role. He is no longer just the future king who waits his turn. He is becoming the protector of the family. Sources close to the palace claim that William has very little patience left. He does not like anything that threatens the safety of the family. He wants to protect the legacy he will one day inherit. After years of public drama from Harry and Meghan, the interviews, the accusations, and the loud documentaries, William is tired. His patience has worn thin. He is described as firm and focused. He is completely unwilling to bend or be soft. According to people who know about the discussions, William is ready to make hard choices. This includes supporting the idea of taking away titles if it protects the monarchy's future. One advisor said it very simply: William will cut off a limb to save the body. This means he would sacrifice a small part of the family to save the whole institution. He doesn't see this as revenge or being mean. He sees it as his duty. He sees it as being responsible. When Harry stepped away, William stepped forward. When Meghan challenged the system, William made the system stronger. And where Charles began changing the monarchy, William is getting ready to finish the job. The message behind closed doors is crystal clear. The crown cannot carry drama and instability into the next generation. It won't happen under William. It won't happen under the future king. While William makes his position stronger, Meghan is preparing for something else. She's getting ready for a fight. Sources say Meghan has spoken with lawyers in both California and the United Kingdom. She's determined to look closely at these changes. She wants to see if the new succession rules break an old law called the 1701 Act of Settlement. This is a very old law that has shaped royal inheritance for over 300 years. To Meghan, the timing of these new rules feels suspicious. It feels targeted at her. It feels personal and done on purpose. It feels like someone is trying to erase her children from the royal picture. She believes the palace is changing the rules just because Harry and Meghan left. The monarchy says these changes were overdue and needed to happen anyway, but Meghan doesn't care about that. She is ready to battle. Legal advisors are warning her, though. They say that fighting the monarchy is never easy. A lawsuit does not stay private. It does not stay clean. It forces everyone involved to show evidence. They have to give real statements, show real documents, and provide real proof. And that is where the danger begins. If Meghan moves forward with this legal fight, Harry will be forced into a terrible spot. It is the one place he has avoided for years. He will have to choose a side publicly. If he stands with Meghan, it means he is standing against his own father and brother in court. He will be under the spotlight with no way to turn back. But if he stands with the palace, it means he is breaking the bond he promised to his wife. For Meghan, this fight is about being recognized. For the monarchy, it is about keeping order and following rules. For Harry, it is about choosing between two worlds. These two worlds cannot exist together anymore. The battle hasn't fully started yet, but the lines are already being drawn in the sand. Now, a storm sits directly over the royal family. They are at a crossroads that is impossible to ignore. On one side, the monarchy is reshaping itself. They are rewriting rules. They are redefining titles. They are fixing the line of succession. They are doing a clarity review, digging into the past with quiet precision. King Charles is no longer bending. Prince William is not compromising. The palace is closing its gates and protecting its own. On the other side stands Meghan. She is determined. She is furious. She is prepared to fight for her children's place in a world she believes they were born into. She sees the rule changes as an eraser, trying to rub her kids out of history. She sees the Clarity Review as an invasion of her privacy. She sees the distance between London and California growing deeper every single day. And standing right between these two warring worlds is Harry. He is a prince without a home base. He is a husband trying to protect his family. He is a son watching the gates of his past close tighter and tighter. Sources say Harry feels the pressure building up. The choices are becoming sharper. The decisions are becoming unavoidable. Because if Meghan pushes forward with legal action, the monarchy will be forced to respond. They will have to respond in ways that expose everything. Documents, testimony, and private history will come out. Unspoken moments that the royal family has kept hidden for generations could be revealed. Once that begins, there is no returning to peace. This is the moment before the break. This is the moment the future of two royal children becomes the center of a giant constitutional storm. This is the moment a family conflict turns into a historic event. The monarchy is preparing to move on. Meghan is preparing to fight back, and Harry is preparing for the hardest choice of his entire life. But one thing is certain. Whatever happens next will not be quiet, it will not be gentle, and it will reshape the royal family forever, because this isn't the end of the story. This is the spark. This is the moment before the explosion.